If you've looked into SAP certifications, you've heard the pitch. Take a quick course, get the certificate, and walk into a guaranteed 6 LPA job. But that pitch leaves out the reality of the Indian job market. Right now, there are hundreds of thousands of certified SAP professionals out there, with thousands more entering the pool every single year. At the top, we have over 100,000 certified candidates. Because of that saturation, a single vacancy is instantly hit with 200 resumes. The chosen candidate isn't picked for their certificate. They are hired because they understand how the software interacts with a real business. Companies don't need someone who just memorized where to click. They need someone who understands that a single wrong entry in material management can create an inventory mismatch, costing the company millions. An SAP certificate might get your resume past the front desk and buy you a seat in the interview room. But your ability to execute business processes is what actually wins you the job. A lot of freshers make the mistake of picking a module just because it's popular right now. Doing that forces you to start from zero and ignores the educational investment you've already made. This decision tree maps your degree to an SAP module. With a finance degree, your path is SAP FICO, where you learn to execute corporate accounting rules in the software. For supply chain backgrounds, SAP lets you leverage your knowledge of inventory and vendors. With a marketing degree, SAP SD is where you manage customer orders and billing. And if you have an MBA in HR, you want SAP HCM. You'll apply your background to manage the entire employee lifecycle, from hiring to retirement. Regardless of the module you choose, there is a deadline approaching. By 2027, SAP is phasing out support for the older ECC system in favor of the newer S/4HANA. Learning S/4HANA has a steeper learning curve right now. But skipping it means investing your time into a system that companies are actively abandoning. Choosing a module tightly aligned with your degree limits your ability to jump between different IT trends, but it increases your hireability because it proves you understand the why behind the software. Once you know your module, you have to decide where to train. With courses costing anywhere from 15,000 to 2 lakh rupees, the financial risk is massive. This scorecard helps evaluate any institute. First, check if they have official SAP authorization. Second, demand hard placement data, asking for specific company names and average salary packages. Third, verify the batch size. If you're crammed into a class with 100 students, you won't get system practice. Fourth, ask alumni on LinkedIn for raw feedback. This level of research takes time, but that upfront effort protects you from paying for a course but yields 0 interviews. Course attendance is only half the battle. If you try to learn SAP just by watching YouTube tutorials without touching the software, you will fail. It's like trying to learn how to drive by watching a video. You need access to the IDA's sandbox system. Committing to 1 to 2 hours of daily practice is the only way to build the muscle memory required for corporate transactions. To test that memory, you should execute a mini project, a self-driven exercise where you build an entire business scenario from scratch, creating a company code, building a vendor master file, and processing a purchase order, all without relying on a guide. Building mini projects will slow down how fast you finish your course, but those projects provide the concrete talking points you need to survive a technical interview. All that practical knowledge won't help if your resume never reaches a human. 90% of freshers fail the applicant tracking system stage because they simply write SAP certified and fill the rest of the page with generic soft skills. This comparison shows the difference. On the left is the standard failing resume point. On the right is an action-oriented, successful point. The point on the right works because it lists the exact business action, the specific transaction cycle, and the system used. Apply this detail across your entire resume. Keep it to exactly 1 page and remove filler terms like team player or good communication. Customizing a resume this deeply requires higher effort than sending out a standard template, but it is the only way to trigger ATS keyword matches and prove to a recruiter that you can actually do the job. Once your resume is ready, applying exclusively through standard job boards is a waste of time. You're just clicking the same button as thousands of other freshers. This chart shows how to allocate your energy. The best strategy requires finding recruiters on LinkedIn and sending direct cold messages. Applying to job boards and writing team player on a resume falls into the bottom left zone. Low effort, very low impact. Cold outreach and demonstrating your mini projects sits in the top right quadrant. It demands a thick skin because you will get ghosted, but it has the highest success rate. Beyond the domestic market, Your English fluency opens up pathways to international SAP roles in regions like the US, UK, and Canada. Because of the difference in currency and market demand, entry-level roles in these regions often offer salaries equivalent to 30 or 40 LPA. While landing these requires navigating work visas or finding remote-first projects, the financial ceiling is significantly higher than the standard 4 to 8 LPA ceiling in India. Global roles demand mastering remote work, constantly upskilling yourself, and marketing to an international audience. The SAP market rewards a specific type of operator. If you align your degree to the right module, verify your training center, and build a portfolio of IDES projects, the pathway to a lucrative role becomes a matter of execution rather than luck.
Jumpstart your career with SAP Experts Academy.